Support for Steppin Out comes in part from the Kristovich family in honor of Mary Lou and Bill Kristovich.
Good evening. I'm Peggy Scott Laborde, and welcome to Steppin Out, spotlighting the New Orleans area's arts and entertainment scene. Seated at our table tonight, soprano Sarah Jane McMahon, and we're always so delighted to have you with us.
Thank
welcome
you so
back.
much.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Absolutely. And somebody else who also sings, but that's not what he does for his day job. Frank Maselli, president, and his fun part is the American Italian Cultural Center, of course, and honorary consul of Italy.
That's correct.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you.
lots of exciting things coming up with you. Welcome back. And Alan Smason of theatercriticism.com. Now, Poppy will be back with us last week, of course. And by the way, in a little while, we're going to visit with two carnival captains of the Krewe of Stars, Carl Mack and Marshall Harris. But in lieu of Poppy, not, she's pretty irreplaceable. We're going to have some culinary tidbits. Alan and I are going to chime in. This is my official culinary tidbit piece of paper here. But some things we definitely wanted to share with you. Of course, we've got that game. You know that Saints game on Sunday? Yeah. And a lot of local restaurants are having some creative fun with it. And Bourbon House, though, is actually, they're doing oysters, black and gold oysters, okay, with black and gold caviar on them. And it's Louisiana caviar.
Sure.
So I kind of like that. So imagine sprinkling a little bit of caviar on the oyster. It's very fun.
It sounds like fun and delicious, too.
And very delicious, yes. And then we've got Wits Inn, which is in Mid-City, and they have a lot of terrific drinks. But they have breakfast on weekends, and one of my favorite things is a shrimp frittata.
Oh.
A shrimp frittata. There you go.
Now, I have to tell you,
and that's in Mid-City.
Wits Inn is one of the official theater spots, believe it or not. A lot of people who are from
Dennis
young actors, they go there
Aspire.
because it's open late at night, has comfort food pizzas and chicken wings and things of that sort. So a lot of people after a show will assemble there. So if you ever want to see your favorite local theater actor, you might hang out at Wits Inn.
I didn't know that, but they have all these huge screens, so you can go there and see the game. And then right down the block, as you well know, Alan, is Revel with Chris McMillan and Chris DeBar, and you're a standard there.
You mentioned that we might mention them on the show, so I wanted to do my homework, and I was there last night checking out their menu. They've got like almost 50 drinks that they have that are on the menu that they have, plus small plates. And again, you mentioned Chris is back in the kitchen now as well, and upped their game considerably. I had a little pepper that was stuffed with lamb, and it was quite delicious and quite reasonable.
Chris's, isn't
yes,
it? That's what I like.
And one of the other things I wanted to mention is that Chris McMillan has a little something that has just come out that I thought I'd show you and on camera. Oh. This is the brand new Bloody Mary mix that Chris has. They're using it's called the cocktail artist basically, and he is now the face of this particular brand of Bloody Mary mix. And it's going to be available at Walmart on the West Bank, in Harahan, and also at Chapatoulas.
Well, you've got good scoop. Yeah. And of course, Chris DeBar, for many years, was a Green Goddess. That was a restaurant in Delicious. And he's wonderful, too. So the two Chris's at Revel, yes. And then plus Monday, there's still some tickets left at the $75 category, the Chef's Charity Auction for St. Michael's. And my goodness, star-studded Nina Compton, Leah Chase, Tori McPhail of Commanders. The list is long, and Chef Andrea and Alan Shia, too. Yes. Woohoo! So always for a very good cause. And then Poppy, who couldn't be with us today, but she asked us to mention, looking ahead, the Poppy's Pop-Up Drag Queen Brunch coming up on the 27th. So it's a little more than a week. That's Sunday brunch. So don't forget Poppy. And now, turning our attentions to theater.
Well, speaking of drag, we have to talk about Greater Tuna. Now, Greater Tuna is this two-character play in which they play about 20 different characters. 2 actors, 20 characters, and a lot of them are in drag too. I don't think there's a funnier show that I've seen on the boards, not just this year, but last year as well. Gary Rucker and Sean Patterson, 2 of the funniest people you ever want to meet in real life, but also on stage, and probably with the possible exception of Ricky Graham and Varley Jean Merman, the funniest duos that I know. I got to say, this is a wonderful show. It's not something that you can't necessarily bring all the kids to. There are a couple of dark moments in it, and probably of all the 4 Greater Tunas that there are, this this is probably the one that has a few more darker moments in it, but it is hilarious for the most part. And again, the best part about it is when they are in drag. I think Aunt Pearl that Sean Patterson does, or Clarice that Gary does, they're just fantastic. And there's so many different characters. They interweave with one another. Their storylines cross over, and it's just a great romp. If you want to get out and check it out, Rivertown Theaters are going to have this on until the 27th. And again, I believe that this started in the 1980s, but it still holds up so well today. Still, such a classic comedy. And again, did play for a time on Broadway and off-Broadway. So, it does have its history. And again, if you haven't seen it, I definitely would put it on the schedule to see, because it's only going to be on for another couple of weekends. Now, there is a new show that's over at the ramp room, if you will, of the Little Gem Saloon. This has been renamed Jimmy's All-American Beefsteak Place. And again, the idea is that it's an immersive comedy musical. And this is written by Adam Simkowitz, who did The Clown Bar a few years ago. If you remember, this was a posse, a real legitimate criminal posse who were hanging out at this clown bar. And of course, Keith Clavery, who's in this one as well, is playing the part of Brian. He's the manager of this All-American Beefsteak Place, one of the kind of a place that you love to hate, if you know what I mean, a national chain. And essentially, you've got a group of radicals that take over it. Again, the name of this is Stockholm Syndrome, the idea being that people who are captured and kidnapped, if you will, start to take on, if you will, a belief that maybe the people who are doing the kidnapping are in the right, and so they sort of identify with their captors. The idea is that the particular title tells it all. It's called Stockholm Syndrome, or Remember the Time Jimmy's All-American Beefsteak Place was taken over by that group of radicals? So essentially, the idea of what's going to happen. You go in an hour ahead of time, you have dinner and drinks if you want, and then the show starts around 8 o'clock, and your menu is your program. So for those of you who want to look and see who the cast is, you have to read the other side of the menu. But again, some shout outs there. Mark Routhier, who's normally a director, is in there. I believe it was Ainsley Manich who does the music, and also Callie Russell does the choreography. But A.J. Allegra is helped along by James Yergin, who is the assistant director, and they really do a great job on this. Again, it's only going to be on the boards for a few weeks. I believe they will be here next week, though.
Yes, they will.
We'll be able to see a little part
of
that as well. So that's Stockholm Syndrome at the Little Gem. And we had earlier talked about Rivertown. I want to go back, just if we can circle back to Rivertown. They're going to have their season announcement. They're going to have a soiree. Now, in the past, they charged a small amount of money to come in and enjoy the festivities, if you will. They had some drinks and some food. This time, however, no charge. Rivertown Theaters of Performing Arts is going to be on the 27th, which is Sunday, and hopefully you get a chance to see it.
Get the sneak preview. All right, very good. They do so much good stuff, too. They really are busy people. It's great. And New Orleans Magazine's quiz queen, Julia Street, has a question for us. Last time, Adele Hutt gave us the names of a New Orleans female singing group and the song that's named after a Mardi Gras expression. The answer is Iko Iko by the Dixie Cups. Now, tonight's question. In 1967, the very first play in Saints history was a run back of the kickoff for a touchdown. Against what team was the touchdown scored, and in what stadium was the game played? Email your answers to steppinout@wyes.org. Our prizes: a dish towel with the message, the Lampshank Redemption, as opposed to the Shawshank, from our friends at wearablevegetables.com, and copies of the books. It's Mardi Gras time. Here we go. Mardi Gras Chronicles of the New Orleans Carnival by Errol Laborde, and New Orleans Mardi Gras Moments, which is a quick overview with lots of great photos of Carnival by Judy Batoni and me. And you can go to WYES.org for our online calendar to see our lineup of events, including the intergalactic crew of Chewbacca's sci-fi talent and fashion show this Saturday at the Howling Wolf. You can also link to our WYES YouTube channel to see our program, and special thanks to Pelican for donating the books. But now we've got Sarah Jane and Lerner and Lowe coming up.
I can't wait. This is one of my favorite events that I do. I've pretty much done one a year. This is their 10th anniversary.
Toro
Synagogue. And George Dansker spearheads this. He is one of the jewels of our city. I mean, he is really a musicologist. He's a walking encyclopedia about everything you want to know about Broadway, opera, opera, really any music. And he does a fantastic job with this. He gives the lecture right before I sing different Lerner and Lowe songs.
And this is next Friday a week.
Next Friday, the 25th of
And
January.
free.
And it's free. And it's at 7 o'clock. It's right after their worship service. And he's introduced me to so many Lerner and Lowe songs I didn't know. I'll be singing things you know, like I could have danced all night. But then there are other things like The Day Before Spring, A Waltz in Vienna. I'll be singing a few things from Brigadoon. And we have Jesse Reeks on piano, Daniel Lelchuk on cello.
Oh, wow.
We have the Cantor singing a couple songs, a girl named Megan Kukuru who's wonderful. She'll also sing. So I'm just excited to be involved.
And to give you a taste, we actually have a clip from the song you sang last year for the
Yes.
Bernstein tribute.
Correct. This is from Peter Pan, the musical, and it's called Who Am I?
Let's take a look.
Funny the thoughts I have at night, so different from the thoughts I have by day. The moment Mama switches off the light, 1,000 different questions come my way and say, who am I? Was it all planned in advance, or was I just born by chance in July? Oh, who on earth am I? Did I ever live before as a mountain lion or as a fly? My friends only think of fun. They're all such incurable tarts. Can I be the only one who thinks these mysterious thoughts? Someday I'll die. Will I ever live again as a rooster or a hen, or a lion in a den, or a robin, or a wren, or a fly?
Beautiful. A reminder of that. Once again, you can see Sarah and Jay McMahon and other very talented folks performing at Shiro Synagogue. That's next Friday a week. The night they invented Champagne, the Broadway musicals of Alan J. Lerner and Frederick Lowe, and it's free. So tell us what else you're up to.
Well, Peggy, my biggest thing coming up is I'm going to Argentina to sing at the Teatro Colón, which is one of the most prestigious opera houses in the world. So it's really an honor. All the big famous opera singers have sung there, so I'm really excited to join that list. I'm singing Stella in A Streetcar Named Desire.
Andre Previn's
It's a new
version of
production.
Mr.
I know. I
Williams.
guess I'll be able to be the real diction coach, right? Since I'm the New Orleanian going. But and then I'm also singing a concert to celebrate the lives of New Orleans composers. That's in March. It's in conjunction with the Historic New Orleans Collection, and I'm looking forward to that too.
All right, well, great. So glad.
Thank you.
And earlier today, Carl Mack and Marshall Harris from the Krewe of Stars came by to share details of their upcoming gala event. Well, showbiz meets carnival, certainly, with these two gentlemen. We're talking about the third annual Krewe of Stars. And Carl, you all are co-captains, but Carl, explain what everybody can appreciate in Saturday from a week.
Right. Well, this is our third annual show ball, and it's a star-studded event. These are celebrating stars of the community. You want to know who our royalty is?
Yes, but we have to say, first of all, that returning royalty will be Al Carnival Time Johnson
That's
and
right.
Irma Thomas. But who's our royalty this year?
Incoming royalty is none other than the amazing Chris Owens.
Yay!
Love that,
Davison.
yes.
That's quite a combo. And I'm sure her dress will not be shabby, right?
Oh, yes, it's beautiful. Yeah.
It's going to be great. Now, this is at the Jefferson Performing Arts Center, which means then it's not your typical ball. It's really more of a show, isn't it?
Right. Doors open at 7. The guests can come in. It's cocktails and food. And then the show starts at 8. And then after the show, the party continues. We got some hot food and more drinks.
Well, Marshall, I know you'll be throughout the show, but
yes.
Miss Becky Allen's going to be with us?
Becky Allen's coming on with her friend Amanda Abear, and they're going to be doing some Mardi Gras comedy. You know how they roll, right? And we're going to have lots of performances. We have the Yap Pack playing for us this year, so they're going to play throughout, which I get to sing in front of, and Carl gets to play that xylophone in front of, which is a great honor for us. But no, he said hot food. We have a hot show too. You're going to love it. And some secrets we can't give away, but you know, we sparkle from beginning to end.
No, and it's family fun too, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Yeah, so it'll be a whole lot of fun.
Yep.
Carl, both of you I know wear many hats, but by day you have a mini museum, Mardi Gras Museum, which is also a costume shop in the quarter, don't you?
Yes, we're going into our 3rd year now. It's the Mardi Gras Museum of Costumes and Culture. About half of it is costumes that we've made for occasions, and then the other half is costumes that I've collected. So it's my personal collection, and the exhibit is open every day, 7 days a week, and people can explore Mardi Gras, tell the story of Mardi Gras. We give tours. We also host parties. It's a venue as well.
Great fun.
So we are really having a lot of fun, and I just love seeing the excitement every day that people get to learn about Mardi Gras.
And also you're very involved with conventions, and you provide all kinds of special little tidbits, including the champagne lady.
Probably one of the most popular items we have right now is our champagne hostess, showing up at a party. She's got 120 champagne flutes, or strolls through the party. Great way to get a glass of champagne into everyone's hand.
And of course, you came here many years ago because of the World's Fair, didn't you?
Yes, I know you were very involved in that too. Yeah, came down for the 1984 World's Fair. I was the xylophone man. And then after the fair closed, I hit the streets. I was a street performer for many years and became a clown and a mime and a juggler and a magician and a balloon twister, did all that. Then I started booking other entertainers. Then we needed costumes for the entertainers. So here we are, 25, 30 years later.
So kreweofstars.com for tickets and all kinds of fun stuff there. Plus Carl Mack, your website.
Yes, carlmack.com.
In Conti Street.
Right,
Your address?
themardigras.museum.com. We're at 1010 Conti Street in
Well,
the French
gentlemen,
Quarter.
have a wonderful time at the ball next week, and we'll come see you soon at Conti as well.
Thank you, Peggy.
Thank you. Happy Mardi Gras.
You too. A reminder that the Krewe of Stars Gala event is next Saturday night, January 26th, at the Jefferson Performing Arts Center. Visit the Krewe's website to purchase your tickets. Now it's time for our Artist Spotlight. Tonight we are featuring the work of artists that are part of an indoor pop-up market in the Nuance, Louisiana Artisan Gallery, and that's right there in Dublin. It's titled Art in the Bend, and here are some Mardi Gras float-style flowers from Brian Bush. I'm a very big fan of his work, by the way. And we have also an umbrella from NOLA 9, Second Line Umbrella. And this is a piece of jewelry by Heather. Look at that. Remember that? This is a piece of jewelry by Heather Elizabeth. The market will be this Saturday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Visit Art in the Bend's Facebook page for more information. And Frank, you've got a lot going on, including a sports banquet Saturday a week.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Peggy.
Yeah.
Let me preface this. About 34 years ago, a bunch of Italian men, including my dad, Nick Accardo, Sal Panzica, formed the American Italian Museum and Library. Well, 9 years ago, when I became the head of it, I changed it to the American Italian Cultural Center to kind of appeal to anyone who liked Italian and American Italian culture. So every year we have a fundraiser to benefit the Cultural Center, and that is the Louisiana American Italian Sports Hall of Fame Gala. And at each of the galas, we induct 2 or 3 Louisiana American Italian athletes from over the last 100 years. And we've inducted already over 90 athletes from all over the state of Louisiana. And this year we have 3 more that we're inducting, including a very well-known man named Paul Candice from down in Des Allemands. He died about 5 years ago, so we're inducting him posthumously. He was a great he had a drag racing team that won national championships and whatever. Also at the event we have awards. We give civic awards. Like this year, we're going to have Sheriff Joe Lapinto, Gaspaskiro. We have Tim Brando is going to receive the Media Award, the Buddy D Media Award, and on and on. We give awards. We have some other celebrities, Vince Ferragamo. Dan Pastorini, former quarterback for the Houston Oilers, will be our main honoree. But Vince Ferragamo played for the Rams, and he's coming in tomorrow for the game this week. Also, we have Dean Martin's daughter will be there, and she'll sing a few songs like she does every year. She's really a sweetheart. So this is a great event. It's at the New Orleans Hilton. You can find tickets at the AmericanItalianCulturalCenter.com.
And this once again goes to support other activities, and you've got some coming up in the next few months. Now, we should point out that the mini museum is not open yet. In a few more months, it'll reopen. But at your building on North Peters, you've got South Peters, Aperitivo Hour in March.
Yeah, we have a lot of events.
Kinds of fun things.
I know. I'm trying to hold the events down until we finish the renovation. But we have Aperitivo Hour next week on January 30th, and then our spring Italian language classes will start the week of March 19th. And then coming up, we have two really nice trips, very affordable. The first one is around Memorial Day. It's the Amalfi Authentica. And we'll spend a week in the Amalfi Coast. And then for people who have the time, we'll go then a week in Sicily. That's around Memorial Day, and then Labor Day we go to Sicily for a week.
Frank, the prices on these, you all keep them very reasonable.
That's
that is a
correct.
deal. Let me.
Yeah,
that's such a
very
deal.
Reasonable,
Yeah.
very, very reasonable. Again, if you go to our website, AmericanItalianCulturalCenter.com, you can get all this information, plus see all the other things we do, like help people become dual Italian citizens. You know, if you're Italian heritage, and if the person who came from Italy didn't give up their citizenship before the next generation was born, then everyone below them can become an Italian citizen. And we're assisting like 100 people right now to become dual Italian citizens.
Oh, what a great idea. Now, some folks may not realize that building, the proximity of the building, it's virtually behind, or I should say in front of, the Piazza d'Italia.
Right, it's next door.
Yeah.
Well, that was it. So when they created, way back 40 years ago, when my dad and all his buddies created the Piazza d'Italia as a monument to the Italian Americans in the city and to the people that came over from Italy. So they put their cultural center right next to it.
Yeah.
So
and of course, many of us remember the Italian Village with great fondness.
That's
and I know
right.
your dad
Back
was real
in-
involved
back
with
in the
that.
World's
And
Fair.
that was not that far from there, actually.
Well, but yeah, it was right
few blocks
by
over.
the German beer garden.
Yeah,
You remember
along
back
Convention
there?
Center
Yeah,
Boulevard,
right.
that
That's
area.
right.
But
That's
that was
right.
one of the
that was
highlights. And of course, I know people talk about how, unfortunately, many businesses did not do well during the fair, but the Italian Village did very well. And I remember Bricato's did very well.
That's
And the
right.
other shops around there, too.
That's
so that
right.
was so much fun.
Right.
And I understand it was actually based on a downtown area of an actual city.
Well, yeah, it was
in
based
Italy.
on a piazza in Venice. I think it
Venice?
was
Oh, okay.
not St. Mark's Square, but another. I can't remember the name right now.
Well,
But it
anyway.
happened to fit exactly
Well,
like the when
well,
we had 30
congratulations
shops.
for keeping all that going, too.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun too.
It'll be a lot of fun. Thank
Come
you.
see
Great
us.
to see you. And now it's time for our picks of the week. Sarah Jane.
Well, if you're down around the French Quarter on Sunday, I'll be singing 9 o'clock and 11 o'clock Mass at the cathedral.
Now, I know they're also televised on Channel 32, so you could actually...
Yes, it's amazing how many people watch that. It's really just a wonderful thing that we have here for disabled people, or, you know, they always say for prisoners in the nursing homes, but it's wonderful. If you can't get to Mass, you can always watch it on Sunday at 11 o'clock. And the Archbishop always gives beautiful homilies.
Yeah. Frank, anything else to
Oh, well,
mention
we
here?
have the flag throwers coming back
Ooh.
in March 22nd through 31st from San Sepolcro. Thank you.
Okay.
They'll be performing all over the city, and that's really great. I'm sure a lot of people know about them now. We've even had them here on the.
Yeah, we had him
we've
here.
Had him here.
We had to be careful.
Yeah,
They
right.
throw the flags up so high. We didn't want them to hit the lights. I remember that.
That's right.
But anyway, hopefully they can come back. Thank you. Alan.
Well, I wanted to have everybody welcome the newest venue in New Orleans. This is going to be the Fillmore, which is going to be in Harrah's Casino.
yeah.
And they're going to open with a marquee on Canal Street. They're going to light it and have a grand opening that'll be coming up up Thursday at 10:30 a.m., find your parking somewhere along Canal Street, pay for the parking so you can get a ticket and have fun.
And my picks, recently 2 local sisters read in the paper about the Ogden Museum of Southern Arts exhibit on the works of Jose Francisco Xavier de Salazar de Mendoza. And he, of course, was a painter who worked during Spain's occupation of Louisiana. They came to discover, the sisters, that 2 paintings that they had of their ancestors were in fact by Salazar. Here we have, one is a portrait of Don Matthias Francisco Ruiz de El Puente, who was the financial administrator of New Orleans, and the other is a portrait of either his first wife, Marguerite, or his second wife, Isabel, with their son. Both of these paintings will be up for auction tomorrow morning, starting at 9 a.m. That's at the Crescent City Auction Gallery on St. Charles Avenue. You can attend the auction, of course, or you can go live to liveauctioneers.com or invaluable.com to place a bid if you wanted to, but I think they're starting at around, like the estimated value is around $150,000, so that's going to have to be a big check, right? But anyway, you can call the gallery for more details, more information, and visit their website. There's a lot of wonderful things this time at the gallery. And Moscow Nights Production will be presenting their production of Mikhail Bulgakov's 24 Hours in the Life of Pontius Pilate, and it'll be at Dillard University's Cook Theater. And it's this weekend and next weekend. Casey Groves, who you just saw, will be portraying Christ. He's such a talented actor. Some of y'all might remember his one-man show of Father Silas, and many other things too. Visit moscownights.org to purchase tickets. And kudos to Natasha Raymer, who helps put all this together. And they have a great cast, and Ray Rizal from Dillard's involved, many people. And by the way, the author, Bulgakov scholar, Dr. Alenda Teasley, will actually give a lecture about Bulgakov. That's at 5:30 tomorrow at Dillard before the premiere performance at 8 p.m. This production is actually based on a novel that was banned in Russia during the time of Stalin. A reminder that Loyola University is doing a production of Massenet's Cendrillon, or Cinderella. Have you ever portrayed that?
I've done scenes from it.
Scenes from it. I bet that's a great, it would be a wonderful role for you. That's this Sunday. Of course, in the campus's Roussel Performance Hall. Visit Loyola's website for tickets. And looking ahead, the New Orleans Ballet Association's 50th anniversary Evening of Stars is next Saturday night at the Mahalia Jackson Theater. Scenes from famous ballets, including Swan Lake. And also there's a section on ballroom dancing stars as well. Tickets start at $20 and can be purchased through the theater's website. You know, we talked about it last week, but don't forget the Marigny Opera House Ballet's performance this weekend and next, including music by Gottschalk. Thank you all very much, and thank you very much for watching.
Go Saints!
Good night, go Saints! Yes, who that is for sure. Good night.